For me, drums started when I was about 9 years old. I remember that moment when I first realized I might want to play drums. I was at church with my dad, and it was the worship section of the service where there was music, and at the time I was taking piano lessons. So I was listening for the piano, didn't really hear it. There was also a guitar player and a drummer and some singers, and all I could really hear was the drums. My thought process, being that age, was, wow, I think I really want to be heard. I don't want to play piano. So I talked to my dad. I said, hey, can I take drum lessons? And he said, no. And after a few months of asking him, like, hey, I really want to play drums, he was like, all right, if you take piano lessons the rest of the year, we'll talk about drum lessons. So I stuck with piano lessons for the rest of the year, and I was like, hey, Dad, it's time for drum lessons. I did piano for the year, and he was like, oh, I didn't think that you would actually do that. So when the day came to finally take drum lessons, we went to Skip's. I remember being really excited about drums. My drum teacher, Ken Bollinger, showed me some videos of some famous drummers like Buddy Rich, John Bonham, and really got me excited about the instrument. I took lessons with him for a few years, and then eventually he moved on from teaching, and so I found the drum lab. Started taking lessons there for about 4 years with Mike Johnston. Eventually took a break for about a year. And in that time, I remember selling my drum set to my friend. I was still interested in drums, but I was ready to buy a new drum set, but didn't really have a lot of motivation. Drums came back into my life when I was about a freshman in high school, and my brother showed me this band called A Lot Like Birds. And I remember first listening to their music, and especially hearing the drums. There's this beautiful chaos that I had no idea what I was hearing, but I knew I really liked it. So as I started researching the band, I found out they were from Sacramento. Their drummer, Joe Arrington, actually taught at the drum lab. And Joe really re-inspired me to play this instrument. I remember our first lesson, he told me something that really resonated with me and that I tell my students today. And that's that I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. By that he meant, I can teach you how to play this instrument, but I can't make you practice. I can't make you do the work. That's on you. So that really inspired me to practice and start looking up to other drummers like J.P. Bouvet, Benny Greb, Mark Juliana, Matt Halpern, and several others. As far as gear goes, I have a few different kits. I have some DW drums, some Gretsch drums, and some Ludwig snare drums. The most important thing to me is that it sounds good. So if I go to a gig and it's not one of those brands, as long as the kit sounds good, that's the most important thing to me. As far as cymbals go, most companies make a good sounding cymbal. You just have to find your sound. Past several years I've been playing Zildjian, and it just works for me. Drumsticks, I play Vader. The past few years I've been playing the Fusions and going back and forth between the Vader Fusions and the Matrix sticks. And drum heads, I go between Aquarian and Remo. Both sound great, just different sounds. In my personal playing, the most important part for me is keeping good time and making the music feel as good as possible. So by doing that, I don't play a lot of fills. Every fill that I play, I try to make it really push the music. As far as my teaching goes, my number one goal is to inspire my students and inspire them to practice, inspire them to play, inspire them to listen to music, and ultimately to get them playing music.